auspicious. And then definitely there's no question of moksha actually either. So there has to be dharma. So if we try to accomplish anything in this world without the dharma, and it's everything bound to fail. So this is something that Lord Nrsimhadev demonstrates, because Hiranyakashipu is described, he was the original empiricist. Empiricist means one who, just like nowadays, there are many empiricists who try to conceive things just only through their perception, by their own strength. They try to achieve so many things by their own effort, their own understanding, but it proves that it's not correct. Eventually every one of them fails. Why? Because again, it's not based on dharma. So this is what Lord Nrsimhadev came. Hey, why Abhishek is not going on? I said, going on. Why are you looking at me? And I said, Abhishek should be going. Put the lights off. There's no need of lights. Abhishek is just ending. We're just giving this as a little bit conclusion, just to try to understand the tattva of Lord Nrsimhadev, his purpose of coming, his qualities, so that we can appreciate, because this day it's extremely important and auspicious day. Just a side detail. You can see here the Shalagram Shila down. Yes. This is Ugra Shalagram Nrsimha. It's always based on the last altar, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. There are two Shilas there, Dwarkadish and Lord Nrsimhadev. It has wide gaping mouth, huge, and two chakras inside. It's very, very beautiful Shalagram. So that makes the whole Abhishek extremely, extremely powerful. When you have a deity and you have a Shalagram you don't have to install, it's already a deity. So this is why Nrsimhadev appeared, to just defy any kind of misconception or empiric misconception that we can conceive and understand this world by our own power, or we can conquer this world by our own power and achieve many things. So this is what Nrsimhadev came to defy. He said it's not true. It doesn't happen like this. Because if we are going against the laws of the nature, then it is not going to be possible to achieve anything. So Hiranyakashipu achieved immense powers, and that's very interesting. He achieved those powers how? By practicing the process. He did follow Vedas, he did follow Shastra, he did follow how to perform those austerities in a particular way, and he got enormous result. But you see, once he got a result, he rejected all the Vedas, he rejected all the Shastras, he rejected the Dharma. Very interesting. And then he failed. It didn't last long. That's why you may wonder why sometimes there are so many people who are not godly, and then they have power, they have influence, they have, enjoyment. There's so many things going on, but it won't last. It won't last, because once you reject Dharma, then that's the path to failure. Yeah. So he initially followed all the Dharma. He was praying to whom? Whom he was praying? He asked blessings from whom? Anybody knows? Lord Brahma. And he received the blessings. And Lord Nrsimhadev kept those blessings intact. He granted all these blessings to Nrsimhadev because it was given by Lord Brahma. That was part of Dharma. It was a process. Yeah? But once Hiranyakashipu decided not to follow the Dharma, then there was no obligation that his boons should remain as they were given. Yeah? That's the point. So that's why Nrsimhadev came, and he very, very much more smarter, more ingenious and intelligent way, he counteracted all these boons. Yeah? Because Hiranyakashipu now he didn't follow anything. And he was going really heavy against Dharma. He was destroying forests, he was killing cows, he was disturbing yagyas, so many horrible, sinful activities he did perform. And he was just reducing his credit or the blessings that he has been received from Lord Brahma. And as we know, he asked not to be killed during the day, not to be killed during the night, not to be killed inside or outside by the man, by the animal, neither by any weapon. So many different boons he was asked, and it was granted. It was granted. I thought he was very smart, yeah? But Nrsimhadev was way more smarter. This is why Krishna, Lord Nrsimhadev is Krishna, because Prahlad Maharaj prayed to Krishna. That's very interesting. So when Krishna appears in a form of Nrsimhadev, That is the form which protects his devotees. Yeah? This is the form, whenever devotees are in danger, they pray to Lord Nrsimha. There are many instances, many modern day instances, where devotees pray to Lord Nrsimhadev for protection. It just, amazingly, he makes certain arrangements, and devotees are protected. So this is why he came, to certify that anybody who surrenders unto me, I give the protection. Yeah? I save my devotees from whatever difficulties they're in. So when we take shelter, of course one has to take shelter. One cannot be then acting like Nrsimha, like Hiranyakashipu, thinking that by his own power he can make an arrangement or do something this and that. That is not going to work. Or like Draupadi, till Draupadi was holding with the last hand, still nothing happened. Once she raised both, then Krishna manifested. So one has to be fully surrendered. So then Nrsimhadev appeared, and he was very angry. That why how anybody dares to, treat or mistreat my devotee in such a way, or treat devotee in such a inauspicious, such an unfavorable way. So then he counteracted all these wounds. He appeared at dusk, right? He didn't kill with weapon, used these nails, sharp nails. He didn't kill him in the sky or the ground. He kept him on the lap. He tear him apart. Very ghastly. It's very ghastly. But that's what Nrsimhadev was acting in a ghastly way. So, Hiranyakashipu was acting in a ghastly way. So Nrsimhadev just responded in the same way. So it wasn't a man. It wasn't an animal. It was Nrsimha. So this is why Nrsimhadev appeared. So it's essentially a form of protection, and it's essentially a form that we require to advance in devotional life, because there are so many obstacles. There are so many obstacles. Our greatest obstacles are what? It's not this one, that one, here or there. It's right here within our own heart. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya. It's right there within our heart. So that's why we pray to Lord Nrsimhadev. We have this prayer that we recited yesterday. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namastejas Tejasa Viravir Bhava Vajranaka Vajradam Shakamashan Randai Randatam Grasa Grasam Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhuishta Om Shraum. We pray to Lord Nrsimhadev, please tear apart with your sharp, thunder-like nails all those demon-like desires. Demon-like is just like Hiranyakashipu, just like you tore apart Hiranyakashipu with such a, ease. Because what was very interesting, Lord Indra sent his thunderbolt, it couldn't harm Hiranyakashipu. His body was so hard, so powerful. But Nrsimhadev, just with his nails, I just did like this, just like you could tear paper or something, just so easily. Yeah, it was a very ghastly scene, of course, because they fought. There was a big battle going on. Big battle going on. And it was said that Nrsimhadev also fought with all the soldiers, and when he appeared, there was such a thunder that all the wives of the demigods had a miscarriage. And when all these soldiers started rushing, he was just chopping them, cutting them here and there, just like Parashuram. It's like this. There was a big battle going on. And then finally, Hiranyakashipu. And then they were fighting, and it is described that Nrsimhadev was fighting with him just like, and actually playing just like a cat plays with the mouse. So sometimes he would let him go, and then the demigods would just, they lose their heart. Now Hiranyakashipu might do something and maybe even win or something. They were so afraid. But then again, Nrsimhadev would catch him. And then finally, when the dusk time came, which is about now, that was enough of play. I caught him, placed him on the lap like this. And very interesting thing, before he ripped him apart, he placed his his arm on his head. And it's just like he gave him anesthesia or something, He gave him blessing that he wouldn't feel anything. He blessed him. He already liberated him practically before he killed him. Then he tore him apart. That's very interesting. So that's the mercy of Nrsimhadev. Somebody may say, oh, God is partial. No, God is not partial. He's impartial. He will bless everybody. Because even later on, Prahlad Maharaj is praying, Nrsimhadev says, my dear Prahlad, please ask for some boon. Of course, Prahlad doesn't want any boon. He's just satisfied in Nrsimhadev association. He said, I don't want any boon. And then Nrsimhadev is kind of prompting and surging and said, Prahlad, no, but just, my dear Lord, please bless my father. so that we may achieve liberation. And then Nrsimhadev said, what your father, you're 21 generations of you are liberated, backward and forward, because you're such a great devotee. So he asked for the blessing, but already, before even he tore him apart, Nrsimhadev blessed Hiranyakashipu. So he didn't feel any pain, so don't worry. If somebody is Hiranyakashipu fan, don't worry. He didn't feel any pain. He was ripped off when he was blessed by Lord Nrsimhadev also. But don't act like Hiranyakashipu, that's the whole point. Because Hiranyakashipu is not an ordinary person. If you know the story, who originally he was in the spiritual world. So we should not play a Hiranyakashipu, being a little demon. Krishna doesn't come for little demons. He sends some virus, this, that, whatever, somebody else. He doesn't waste time with little demons. So Krishna may not come for us. So better we act like Prahlad Maharaj, develop the devotion, because that's more blissful, it's more tasteful, it's more relishable. And it's more wonderful to act as a devotee rather than to act as a demon. Because demons are very selfish. And they harm and cause so much trouble to everybody else. It's not necessary. So better to act as a devotee and receive blessings by Lord Nrsimhadev in such a way. And that's why this process has been given to us, and it's very beautiful. If you study a little bit Srimad Bhagavatam, you will find wonderful, wonderful prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, wonderful instructions, how he achieved that position, how he achieved that mercy, how he became the devotee of the Lord. And that's something that we should aspire, and this is something that is recommended for our devotional life. Okay, so Abhishek now practically has ended. This is the last part, offering the lamp, offering the deepa, and now they will dress Nrsimhadev and put him back. So I think we should slowly start getting ready. There'll be service of prasadam. Do we have service? Yes or no? We have serving service, so that can we save also some prasadam for those who are doing registrations? There's some arrangement made, or some exchange or something? Huh? Basement. I'm saying those who are doing registration, who are out on the field, that should not be overlooked. That would be a great misfortune. Okay, flowers, Haribo. Nice, that's a flower Abhishek. Nrsimhadev. Okay, so Nrsimhadev Bhagavana ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Okay, so let's continue with the bhajan. Who wants to play bhajan, a little more bhajan, 5 more minutes, and then get ready for prasadam.